Hello, welcome back to There Is Still Hope. Thank you for joining us today and thank you for tuning in. To anyone who's new, I am Ndalenga and I am the founder of There Is Still Hope. There Is Still Hope is a place where we are encouraged to move away from past sorrows and move on to embrace a life that matters. Well, thank you for joining us. Well, I have someone with me that will be giving us the insight of mental health. Welcome to There Is Still Hope. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm excited to have this episode with you. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm also glad to be part of this. My name is Didalelwa. I'm actually a nurse by profession, and I've done my specialization in mental health. I've been doing community awareness on mental health for more than 20 years now, but I'm sitting here not representing the ministry or anyone else. I am representing myself as a community activist in mental health issues.
Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. Mental illness affects all ages, from the day you are born up to the day you die, because there's also mental illness in elderlies. But to answer your question, yes, mental illness does affect kids. There are different illnesses which are in categories which are known to be the diseases of mental illness in children. For example, we have got attention deficit in children. These kids who are up and down, they can't keep still, they are running and they are full of energy. So they get admitted in hospitals and they get put on treatment. There are conditions like autism, conditions like bedwetting.
We spoke about the children. How do I see it in adults?
In adults, I will just maybe add on what I've mentioned already. A person who was quiet, a quiet person by nature, all of a sudden the person is talkative, full of energy, walking around, changed from that personality to another personality. Or you will see a person is hearing voices, a voice calling her and there's no one. Or the person is saying, I'm here, I'm seeing things, or for example on the wall, or there was a person standing next to me here, but you cannot see it. A person who was taking good care of himself or herself, going to work and being active in a society, all of a sudden the person have withdrawn. It's almost like what I mentioned in children. A person who was a peaceful somebody and all of a sudden the person is full of anger, aggression, irritated, frustrated. The person, some of the very disturbing symptoms, a person start having abnormal beliefs, what we call delusions. He believes that people are against him or her, people want to witch him, people want to kill him and inherit his properties. People, he's a very famous somebody, is a mother of Jesus, all those type of funny beliefs. It can occur, you will see it in adults. The other one, the person does not stay at one place. He comes in your house, he's standing there, 2 minutes he stand up again, or in his own office or wherever. There's this restlessness in a person. A person loses concentration. Whenever you are talking to that person, the person is not focusing on what you are saying. Even on the speech, a person who used to talk like in a normal flow of words, you would say a person is talkative, like talking, or he's talking things which does not make sense. You are busy conversating with this person and then you just come in with another statement which you don't know where does it face. So we call it irrelevant, incoherent speech. So as I said, there are 4 main areas of mental illness where you will recognize this person is not mentally fine. Moods, as I've said, the way you speak, the way you reason, the perception, seeing things, hearing things, smelling funny things, and then the beliefs, which are abnormal. But it was not there before, it just came all of a sudden or slowly, but surely it was coming.
Listening to what you just said now, it seems like many people are affected by mental illnesses.
Yes, many people are affected by mental illness in one way or another. You know, we tend to distance ourselves from mental illness, but we are not. We are all having degrees of mental illness. There's a genetic which is in us, in everyone, of mental illness. There's a gene of mental illness in every human being. It depends on what triggers it to come out. So mental illness, I would say that it's in levels. There are those who are suffering from personality disorders, and then you think, I'm not mentally sick. It's not that you are mentally sick, but the personalities, your personalities is not well. So we will put you in this category of mentally unwell. Although you are not running naked in the street, your personalities. For example, a person who enjoys other people's sufferings. You hear somebody lost the job, you are laughing. You are emotionless. So you enjoy other people's miseries. You don't care whether you hurt someone. You don't show any remorse when you have done something wrong to a person. Those types of personalities. And the other one is like people who likes too much attention. When you don't get attention, you become sad, and then you get into depression. It's a personality which started and it went up to the disease. So we are in difference, we are in levels. And then there are those who are now having symptoms but not much.
Such as?
Such as you are now so stressed, you cannot cope, you cannot sleep, you cannot eat. It's just stress. But if it's not paid attention, it goes to depression, as I said in the beginning. It grows to another level. Now you are at the level of mental illness, but you started with stress, with the level of the stress. So all your personalities led you to get stressed because you can't cope with people. You think people are what, and then it gives you stress. And then when you don't go for help, you get into depression. Can you see I've already mentioned 3 levels of mental illness? So all of us are in one of the levels. If you are not there where you are now full-blown sick, you are somewhere here where you have symptoms, but you are still functional, or you are here with personalities which interferes with other people who are around you and even affects your own life. Yes.
Wow, that's interesting. There are so many myths around mental health. What are some of the misconceptions that people have on mental health?
The most common one we all know is mental health is caused by witchcraft. A person is maybe cursed, or you have done something wrong to God, it's a punishment, or you are possessed by something, or just for a certain family members or a specific group of people. And these are all not true at all. I will not say not true at all, especially on the cultural aspect, on some of the beliefs, because that's not in my area. But all what I'm saying is that mental illness affects everyone. Science has proven that you can be born with it.
So it can be genetic?
Yes. Besides all the myths and beliefs and everything, science has proven that it can be genetic, not necessarily that you are cursed or witched or what. And it can be caused by any other factors, as I have indicated them: illnesses, chemicals, other substances, or anything which injures your brain. So it's not for certain families or a certain group of people. Mental illness can affect anyone. depending on those causes which I mentioned.
Many a times people would say mental illnesses is inevitable, that there's nothing that can be done about it. What do you have to say?
I will not really say mental illness is inevitable. Yeah, maybe in the case of genetics, whereby you cannot avoid it, but there is always preventative measures which you can do. Like I said, we have to avoid things which can trigger, especially if you are born in a family of mental illness. We have to avoid what is triggering the illness to come out, because the moment you are exposed to a strong stressor, it might come out. Yeah, that's now for the people who are born in a family of strong genetic mental illness. For in other conditions, in other areas, I would think really we can avoid mental illness by taking care of ourselves, as I was saying, avoiding things which can cause injury or damage to our brains, be it stress, any pressure, be it diseases, be it any injuries to the brain. Pregnant women to take care of themselves, for the kids not to be injured while they are in the tummies, and us as adults eating food which build our brains. This is my favorite part, whereby I always encourage people to eat food which are rich in the nutrients of the brain, which will help you to keep brain healthy, like vegetables. There are different types. This is a topic which we can talk some other time. The nutrients of the brain. This is how we protect our brain and prevent mental illness. Staying away or avoiding anything which can injure our brains, be it emotions, be it physical, or be it social aspects. So mental illness can be prevented and can be avoided. To a certain extent, it can also be treated. Not fully, but in some cases it can be treated.
The consequences of delaying intervention when it comes to mental illnesses.
If someone delays seeking for mental help, the consequences can be that you may not get full assistance as you were supposed to be. There are things which damage our brain cells. If you don't look for help as early as possible, the damage might be too big to reverse. Like I said, especially in children, when they start using drugs at the early age, the intervention might not be able to reverse the person back to normal if the damage was too big to bring that person to normal. Even if it was only mere stress, you are supposed to look for help. And if you do not look for help, by the time you go to seek for help, you have already reached the stage of depression, which might take long to be treated. So, but if you could have gone earlier, you could have got proper counseling, proper medicine if you need medicine, and then be brought back to normal. The more you delay, the more the damage to the brain will take place, and the longer the time it will take for the treatment to help you. So even if it's now tablets or even if it's now counseling, so the earlier the better.
Some people are fortunate enough to be able to afford private consultations, perhaps to see mental health professionals such as psychologists, psychiatrists, or even counselors. How about those who cannot afford private consultations?
Yeah, we do have state facilities who provide mental health services. We have got a hospital in Windhoek, which is falling under Central Hospital, Windhoek Central Hospital. We have got a ward in Oshakati, which takes care about people who are having suffering from mental health challenges. In Windhoek, we are even privileged to have all the health professionals in terms of mental health represented. When you are seen there, you will be able to be seen by a psychiatrist, you will be able to be seen by a psychologist, by the social worker, by occupational therapist. Whatever problem you have there, the doctor will screen you and then refer you to the relevant category. If you have got challenges with your marriage, then that's a social problem. They will refer you to the social worker together with a psychologist. So you will be attended fully without even paying a single cent. So we always advise people, even if you have a medical aid and you think it's maybe not enough or something, we advise you to go for state facilities, state services, whereby you will be seen by this multidisciplinary team which will attend to you holistically. Your physical well-being will be catered, your psychological, your social, and the psychiatrist will see you. And if you need treatment, they will put you on treatment, be it now counseling or be it a tablet. It depends on the level of mental illness you have. Like I said, we are at levels. If you are maybe only stress or minor issues whereby you only need a psychologist, you end with a psychologist. If there are now emotional issues and again you are seeing funny things or you are hearing voices, then of course you will need tablets to balance your brain. Because when you hear voices or you see things or whatever disturbance which you have, it's your brain cells which are disturbed, the neurotransmitters, all those chemistry words for the doctors, is the one just disturbed. With medicines are done in such a way that they balance your brain, and then you will come back to normal, and then you will be able to function, and then you will be asked then to go for follow-ups until you get that level of balance whereby you can be productive again in the society. But help is there for the state.
Okay. Last but not least, as an activist of mental health, why do you think it's important for each and every one of us to take care of our mental health?
There's no health without mental health. That's the first thing I will tell you.
Yes.
So you might have your arm being sick or your leg or your back or what, but you can still go to work, and or you can still you are still able to do something. But if your mind is disturbed, it might affect your functioning, your normal functioning as a human being. So we need to take care of our mental health for us to be able to be productive. As I said in the my first answer, for you to be mentally healthy and being productive in your society, contributing to your life and to the people around you, you need to take care of your health. Avoid things which disturbs your brain. Eat mentally healthy food with mentally health nutrients, and do all the other activities which can keep you healthy, like exercises, hanging out with friends, going for singing, all the things which can give you happiness in your heart. You need it to keep your brain healthy, because the moment we allow your brain to be disturbed, then your functioning is also affected.
Well, now that we have understood what mental health is and what mental illness is, what are your final words to the viewers?
My final words will be, as I've said, let's take care of our brains. They are very, very important parts in our bodies. Let's avoid anything which can disturb our brains, and if it happens, let's look for help as soon as possible. And one thing which I did not maybe emphasize, let's look after each other. When you realize that my neighbor, my friend, my colleague has got the symptoms, like I've mentioned them, let's reach out and assist to link these people to the relevant services, because help is there. We just need to take care of each other, embrace each other, and assist each other to get help where help is available. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for taking your time. This is a very important topic, and I'm actually glad we could tackle it today. This is definitely not your last time, and this is just the beginning of you coming up and explaining and breaking down mental health to us, because I believe this mental health is big, and it will not be enough to cover it in one episode. Thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. I'm also happy to be in this interview because it's high time we start talking about mental health in our daily life.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Well, guys, to anyone who's watching me for the first time, please do subscribe and become part of the family. And to my subscribers, thank you for joining me again today. Till next time, I'm Ndalenga.
And I'm Magdalena.
To my next episode, it's a bye-bye from us.